Welcome to Mind Over Matter, where we feature young Jamaicans who are shooting for the stars. I'm your host, Margaret Boyne. Today, we feature another remarkable teenager. He's 18 years old and a student at Campion College. He has been awarded a scholarship to one of the most prestigious universities in the United States, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. His journey to MIT has been marked by remarkable achievements and a pursuit of excellence. My guest is Jordan Hewitt. Welcome to Mind Over Matter, Jordan.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure. So congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Boy,
Very excited.
Yeah, man, this is a remarkable achievement.
Yes, I'm proud. My parents are very proud.
Yeah, so firstly, I must ask you, how does it feel?
It feels good. Well, when the news first came, a few months ago, it was a bit, a bit shocking because at first I didn't get through, and then later I got the good news. So, all that time has been like, really trying to accept if that's a reality or not. But it's real.
Yes. So, so what was the reaction from your parents and all your friends?
Oh yeah, everybody was incredibly excited for there. Like, what we knew you were going to have it. And some of my friends were like that. But of course, my parents were like, wow, you did it. So yeah, everybody's excited.
Yes. So was this a dream of yours to go to MIT?
Oh yes. It was a dream for a very long time. I probably first wanted to attend when I was in like grade 4.
What?
So, a very long time coming.
So why MIT though?
MIT, it's at the forefront of the world in engineering, and me myself, I have a keen interest in biology, but not only biology, but any form of application of science to engineering. Uh, you know, the papers that originally came out from breakthrough advancements in biotechnology, many of those come straight from MIT. So, I mean, from just seeing the advancements coming out of the school and then researching more and more, I just grew more and more.
Okay, so your major will be biotechnology?
My major would be in biological engineering.
Biological engineer. Okay, so tell us a little about that, what the field is about.
So biological engineering, as it suggests, is a combination of biology and engineering. But as it is on its deepest level, is utilizing the molecular toolkit of biological organisms. So you think of things like RNA, DNA sequencing, applications of genomics, or even things like monoclonal antibodies. Any concept within biology that can be applied in such a way to solve some problem in engineering. So even vaccines, things like diagnostic antibodies, many of those which have come to pass in the last few years, which has been a big boom in like biotech startups and business.
So when did this interest start, though?
I've been interested in biology since I was around 5, actually. That was when I read my first book, which had some details of human anatomy. But that sort of just branched into a broad interest in science. But when I actually decided that I wanted to delve directly into biology was in around 4th form, when I started doing reading on my own for some of the topics that were related to the CSEC syllabus, because I started doing lots of research in those areas, and one of the topics was I remember genetic diseases and how exactly those can be cured, and that led into me entering this essay competition, and they had a question for us to answer related to biology that was nature versus nurture. Which one plays a larger factor from a biological perspective? So that led to me delving into epigenetics, twin studies, comparisons as to how phenotype is affected by environmental circumstances versus strictly hereditary concerns. And yeah, from then I started entering these summer programs where I learned more about the specificities of biological engineering, things like CRISPR, things like breath sensors, things like what else did I do there? Things like PCR, all of these concepts that really piqued my interest in biology, and that's why I decided to really choose biological engineering over something else.
MIT is renowned for its research opportunities and innovation. Is there any specific areas or projects you think you'd want to explore there? Or too early for that?
I've definitely thought about which areas I'd like to be involved in, and it would be definitely tissue engineering. Last summer I got very interested in organ grafts, things like organoids and directed organogenesis. And that's sort of how I want to, sort of the area that I want to get involved in. Like I realize now that biological engineering has a broad spectrum of things like growing organs per se, or growing a collection of differentiated cells that act sort of like organs. And I kind of want to be part of that movement that takes tissue engineering to the next level. Maybe getting to the point where individuals can custom grow organs for transplant, or fully functioning organs can be used for drug testing, for example. Because at current, we use these small collections of cells that come from organs, but don't mimic the full functional capacity of it. So that's what I want to do.
Okay, from a young age, you have been excelling, though, Jordan. Which school you attended before Campion?
I attended a school in Exchange, St. Anne, called United Learning Center.
Okay, so you're from St. Anne?
Yes.
Oh, that's my parish too,
Oh, really?
Yes. So you earned a scholarship to Campion. But why Campion?
Well, Campion.
Because you're all in St. Anne.
yeah. Well, it was definitely a concern for my parents, and especially my mom, like, oh, well, why send him all the way to Kingston and everything? But in terms of academics in Jamaica, high schools in Jamaica, I truly do think that Campion is number one. And I think it was best place for me to like enter a new environment, which, seeing as I'm going to university again, I'm going to be way far away from Jamaica. So that was one step out of my house. Now taking another step. But yeah, I went with Campion because it's the best. And I really wanted to see what the best had to offer. I wanted to be challenged. And I was.
Okay, so you moved to Kingston.
I didn't move to Kingston. I still live in Ontario with my family, but
so you went back and forth? You went back and forth?
During the week, I would stay at a boarding house.
Okay. So 10 CSEC subjects and 5 CAPEs, straight A profile. Top student in biology, both regionally and nationally, for CSEC and CAPE exams. So you have a passion for biology, I see. You were placed in the top 10 regionally in 4 of the 5 subjects you did in CAPE. In a pandemic, while doing CSEC, you were also in the top 10 regionally for 6 of your 9 subjects. So how were you able to do so well in the exams?
Well, I love learning. I love learning about anything. It doesn't really matter as long as I have like a little road plan, and like a topic name. I'll go and I'll do the research myself, and I'll stockpile a lot of knowledge in my head on how to work through it. So yeah, even during the pandemic, even though I was at home, um, what my dad would probably say is that I was in my element because I could direct my own learning.
Yes.
I wasn't limited, so I could use my time if I found something interesting, chemistry, biology, physics, anything. I go all the way through, and I learn my own way. So yeah, I think it's that passion for learning and uh, a sense of completionism that got me through there.
Mm-hmm. But you're also an athlete as well. I mean, that was very surprising to me. You've been on the team at ISA Boys and Girls Jams. Tell us a little about that.
Yes. Well, track and field, it is a passion of mine. I love to run, and I've been running since like grade 2, or grade 1, like a very long time. So yeah, the team spirit, the feeling of improvement over time, and of course, just staying healthy because, physical activity uh, keeps your cardiovascular system intact, cognitive health and such. So yeah, I've never been like to the finals or anything. For well, I've only been to the finals like one time, and it was a good while ago. But yeah, I love running.
Yeah. You've won several debating competitions as well.
Yes.
You've always been an avid reader.
I love to read pretty much anything. Recently I've been reading a lot more in the realm of academics though, because I'm trying to branch out and see all of the different paths I can take from university. But yeah, I'm a big fan of things like historical fictions and yeah, fiction and adventure in general. Even classics. I do love some classics.
Well, you're very well rounded. It seems as if you do everything. You play the piano, you dabble in art. I don't know. Tell me a little about that.
Okay, well, the piano I'm playing since about grade 5. I like to just do it to blow off some steam most of the time. Not like not like classically trained, but I do play by ear. And yeah, I do occasionally play for performance or for things like assembly. Uh, as for art, I'm like okay at art, I think. I enjoy drawing, mostly with colored pencils. And I do some sculpture sometimes. I learned how to carve in third form, and I do digital art as well, sometimes.
Okay. And what is remarkable though, Jordan, at 15 years old during the pandemic, you created a CSEC website called Kelper to assist students. Kelper.
A Quelper, like question helper.
Right. Okay. All right. Tell us about that initiative.
Oh yes.
And how it came about.
Quelper is my baby. It started because I usually write all of my notes in these huge blue notebooks, these 4 quire notebooks, and I compile all of the notes for the year, and that would be like my notebooks with all of my notes, and I usually give those away after I've been through like after I get promoted to the following grade level. But during the pandemic that stopped, so I just started creating notes online. Started with just 1 or 2 just one or two posts, and then as it picked up, I started doing more and more things like literature notes, biology, physics, chemistry, math, pretty much anything related to the CSEC syllabus, but at least for the subjects that I did, and had some other people contribute as well. The name was me and my family. We all brainstormed it together. We're thinking question plus helper. So if you have a question, you go there and see if that will probably help you out. I started that in 2020. It's been 3 years, and over that 3 years, it's amassed over 500,000 views and widespread uptake from across the Caribbean. I've met several people that tell me that they've used the site, and at this point, I still do create content for it. Like just last month, I uploaded probably 200 pages worth of review content for physics and chemistry unit 2. So I enjoy the site. I enjoy helping, and I do keep trying to evolve it, because I built a web app called Culper Tutoring that's that organizes online tutoring. So it'll automatically send emails. It'll record the length and duration of Zoom sessions to verify tutor participation and student participation, and all that stuff. It's a big project.
Okay, so how did you handle though the challenges of operating and funding it?
As for operation, I just use whenever I have some spare time. And honestly, if I'm already studying, then recreating some content recreating the academic content in another form also helps me to study. So so I like to go through the syllabus, and as I go through, I create some content and upload it. As for funding, I'd run like 1 or 2 marathons, and I use those funds to keep it going. And usually, instead of Christmas presents, I just ask for my parents to help me keep it running for a following year. So yeah.
So while you were doing your CSEC, then you were also not only thinking about yourself, you were thinking about others in trying to assist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does this come from? This desire to, to help?
My dad is definitely one of the biggest influences in my life, and I think one of his pillars is always giving to other people. So what I can give of myself, I'll share. And honestly, for me, that's what I can do with my brain, because it's not like I have money to share or stuff like that. But I do have my own insights on academics and structuring things in a way that's easier to understand, that's fun and interactive. So I love learning, and I can share the love of learning. So that's why I do it.
And you also do a lot of volunteer work as well. I think I read that you tutor other students apart from the website.
Yeah, I did some tutoring. I do some beach cleanups. I do some runs. So yes.
So what motivates you though, Jordan?
Well, what motivates me, quite a lot of things motivate me. It's not just one thing, because first of all, there's a desire to realize the best version of myself, to become all that was set out for me to become, because many people have invested their time, faith, energy into me, and my parents, my teachers, my friends. So I feel that I owe it to myself, and I owe it to other people to do good things and share good things with the world. But there's also the belief that the world can be a better place if everybody contributes to the world. So that's another motivator. And my family as well. In general, I want to I want to make sure I can give back to my family, and I want to be able to provide for a family that I may have in the future. So it's a lot of things.
Okay, so as you go off to MIT, what are you looking forward to most?
I think I'm most looking forward to, oh gosh, perhaps the collaborative atmosphere. I hear a lot that MIT is very collaborative because they give very challenging and rigorous coursework that you really can't just work through by yourself, and it's best for you to work with other people, and for you to learn in things like research groups or in your class groups. So I'm very interested in learning from other people, distinctive experiences, and their own takes on things. Because this is a class made up of some of the most brilliant people in not only in the world. So I'm very interested. I'm very excited to meet people.
So as you go off now, how do you prepare? How are you preparing yourself for this next chapter?
For the next chapter, I'm doing as much research as I can into what's available for the school, looking into classes that are available, what I can do to maximize the opportunity. I'm trying to maximize my time with my family and everybody, because I'm only gonna be able to visit some holidays because over that 4-year undergraduate journey, I won't see much of my home anymore. So trying to spend as much time at home as possible and with my friends and family.
All right. So any advice you want to leave for our young people?
For advice, I'd say find something that you love to do and keep pushing towards it, because you never know where it might take you. As my dad would say, go with God and faith, and something will come through. If it's the love of learning, you go forward with that. Opportunities may come your way. If it's you love to run, you love to do music, you love to do art. It could be anything, but exploring and trying to deepen your passions for things can never really, it can never go wrong. So that's my advice.
All right. So do you want to hail up anybody? You want to hail up persons who have been, any mentors, your parents? Hail up some people.
Oh yeah. So of course I'm gonna hail my mommy and my daddy at home. My sister Sean. That's not her real name. It's a nickname, but she'll understand. I also want to hail up my teachers at Campion right now. Best bio teacher in the world, Miss Stewart. Want to hail up my math teacher, Kippy. My fifth form English teacher, Mrs. Holder Mackenzie. The principal at Campion, Mrs. Baston. This has been her last year at Campion. So this is her farewell term. And all of the man them at Campion, all my friends. Big ups as well.
Well, Jordan, it was great talking to you, and I want to wish you all the best at MIT. Looking forward to see what you'll accomplish there, and I'm sure it will be great things.
Thank you.
I'll be following up. I'll be following up too.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for having me.